Welcome to Module 03, Project Lifecycle and Governance Flow. Imagine your company has just received a request to build a new customer self-service portal. Everyone is excited and wants the project delivered as quickly as possible. But here's the question. How do successful organizations consistently deliver projects on time, with good quality, and without chaos? The answer isn't luck. It's a well-defined project lifecycle supported by strong governance. In this module, we'll follow this project from the very first business request all the way to project closure, while discovering how PMs and PMOPCs keep delivery predictable, controlled, and scalable. Before we begin, let's understand what you'll gain from this module. By the end of the training, you'll understand the complete project lifecycle, how governance supports every stage, and why milestones and quality gates are essential for successful delivery. You'll also learn how a PMO or project coordinator helps teams prepare deliverables, coordinate approvals, monitor governance compliance, and support smooth transitions between phases. Most importantly, you'll be able to recognize governance gaps before they become project problems. Let's start by looking at the entire delivery journey. Every successful project follows a journey. Our customer portal project doesn't jump directly into development. Instead, it passes through 10 connected phases, from receiving the initial business demand, initiating the project, planning, development, testing, user acceptance, release, hypercare, closure, and finally continuous improvement. Think of these phases as checkpoints during a long road trip. Each stop confirms that the team is ready before moving forward. One important point to remember: governance doesn't belong to only one phase. It runs continuously throughout the entire lifecycle. Let's imagine our project has no governance. Developers begin coding before requirements are finalized. Testing starts without a clear scope. Nobody knows who should approve the release. Problems are discovered only a day before go live. Unfortunately, these situations happen more often than people think. Governance exists to prevent exactly these problems. It provides visibility, accountability, clear ownership, and predictable decision-making. For PMOs and project coordinators, governance isn't paperwork. It's a framework that helps every project stay organized, transparent, and under control. Now let's combine the life cycle with governance. Notice that every project phase has its own governance objective. During demand intake, we validate business requests. During planning, we establish baselines. During development, we monitor execution. Before release, we verify readiness. Think of governance like quality inspections while building a house. We don't wait until the house is finished to check its quality. We inspect every important stage. Throughout this journey, PMO and PC coordinate activities, monitor compliance, and ensure every phase is completed properly before the next one begins. Our customer portal project officially begins here. The sales department submits a request asking for customers to check orders online. Before anyone estimates effort or writes code, the demand must be evaluated. The team confirms who requested it, why it's needed, what business value it provides, and whether the request is complete enough for assessment. The main deliverables include the demand form, initial scope, intake log, and stakeholder identification. A strong beginning reduces confusion later. If the request is unclear now, every later phase becomes more difficult. Receiving a request is only half the job. The PMO or project coordinator now ensures the request satisfies governance requirements before entering the project pipeline. Is there a clear business owner? Are the objectives measurable? Is the initial scope understandable? Has the intake been formally approved? Think of this as airport security. Every passenger must pass security before boarding the aircraft. Likewise, every project request must pass governance checks before entering initiation. Skipping this review often leads to scope changes, misunderstandings, and delivery delays later. Once the demand is approved, the project officially begins. During initiation, the team builds the foundation for the entire project. A project charter defines objectives, stakeholders, and scope. Governance cadence is established. Initial risks are identified. Project workspaces like Jira and documentation repositories are prepared. If demand intake answers, "Should we do this project?" Initiation answers, "How will we organize ourselves to deliver it successfully?" A strong foundation makes every following phase much smoother. Before moving into detailed planning, the project must pass its first governance gate. The project charter must be approved. A project manager must be assigned. Governance meetings are scheduled. Jira is operational. Initial rate information exists, and stakeholders are identified. Imagine constructing a building. You wouldn't begin building the second floor before the foundation is inspected. The same principle applies here. No gate pass means no planning. This rule protects delivery quality from the very beginning. Now the real planning begins. For our customer portal, the team breaks the scope into detailed work packages, estimates effort, builds the project schedule, designs the solution architecture, and prepares the testing strategy. Everything created here becomes the project's baseline. A simple principle guides this phase: no execution without an approved baseline. Without an agreed scope, timeline, resources, architecture, and testing approach, development becomes guesswork instead of professional project delivery. The better the planning, the more predictable the execution. Our project plan is almost complete. But before anyone starts coding, governance needs one more review. The PMO and project manager verify 5 critical areas. Is the project scope complete? Are estimates realistic? Have dependencies between teams been identified? Are key risks documented? Has the budget been validated? For our customer portal, suppose the payment gateway depends on another team. If that dependency isn't identified now, development could be delayed for weeks. Planning isn't only about creating documents. It's about reducing uncertainty before execution begins. Now it's time for the planning gate. Every baseline must be approved before execution starts. The project scope is signed off, the timeline is agreed, resources are confirmed, architecture is reviewed, the test strategy is ready, and the RAID register is updated. Think of this as getting permission to build a house. The blueprint must be approved before construction begins. That's why one of the most important governance principles is no execution without an approved baseline. Once this gate is passed, the project is finally ready for development. Development is where ideas become working software. The team begins building the customer portal according to the approved baseline. Developers implement features. Technical leads review code. Sprint progress is tracked. Risks are monitored, and defects are fixed continuously. Notice that governance doesn't disappear during execution. Instead, it helps everyone understand whether delivery is progressing as planned. The objective isn't simply writing code. It's delivering the right solution while maintaining quality, visibility, and predictable progress. While developers focus on building features, PMO and project coordinators focus on keeping delivery under control. They monitor sprint progress, velocity, burn-down charts, milestone completion, and project dashboards. At the same time, they track scope changes, dependencies, risks, and outstanding issues. Think of the PMO as the project's control tower. Pilots fly the aircraft, but the control tower monitors the entire journey, identifies potential conflicts, and keeps everyone informed. Visibility enables control, and control enables successful delivery. Let's see what could happen during our customer portal project. A new feature is requested halfway through development. Another team delays an API. Jira isn't updated, so management believes everything is on schedule, even though work is slipping. These are common governance risks: scope creep, hidden blockers, unmanaged dependencies, inconsistent project tracking, and delayed escalation. None of these problems appear overnight. The role of PMO is to detect weak signals early, raise them quickly, and prevent small issues from becoming major delivery failures. Development is complete, but that doesn't mean the project is ready for users. Now the testing phase begins. The QA team performs system integration testing, manages defects, executes regression testing, and produces quality reports. For our customer portal, they verify customer login, order history, payment processing, and notification functions all work together correctly. Testing answers one simple question: does the system actually work as expected? Only after quality has been verified should the project move toward business acceptance. Testing isn't measured by how many test cases were executed. Governance focuses on quality, visibility, and readiness. PMO tracks test progress, defect trends, pass rates, test coverage, and critical issues through dashboards. They coordinate readiness reviews and ensure everyone has a clear understanding of project quality. Imagine driving a car. The speedometer alone isn't enough. You also watch fuel, engine temperature, and warning lights. Similarly, governance uses multiple quality metrics to determine whether the project is truly ready for the next phase. Before business users begin UAT, the project must pass another important quality gate. System integration testing must be completed. Critical defects must be resolved. Test evidence should be available. UAT scope must be confirmed, and QA must formally approve readiness. Remember the golden rule: no UAT if the system is unstable. Skipping this gate simply transfers technical problems to business users, resulting in frustration, loss of confidence, and unnecessary delays. Governance ensures the business receives a stable solution, not unfinished software. Now it's the business user's turn. Unlike QA, business users don't verify technical correctness. They verify whether the solution actually supports their daily work. For our customer portal, sales representatives and customer service teams execute real business scenarios. validate expected outcomes, report remaining issues, and finally provide formal acceptance. This phase answers the most important question of the project. Did we build what the business actually needs? Only business acceptance allows the project to move confidently toward production. Governance during UAT focuses on business readiness rather than technical readiness. PMO coordinates the UAT schedule, follows up on outstanding defects, tracks sign-off progress, and escalates delays when necessary. At the same time, they verify user readiness, training completion, and acceptance criteria. Think of UAT as the final customer inspection before receiving a new house. The builder may believe everything is finished, but only the owner can officially accept the result. Business sign-off is therefore much more than a signature. It's confirmation that the project has delivered real business value. Congratulations! The customer portal has been accepted by the business. But before users access it, one final step remains: deployment to production. A successful release is much more than pressing a deploy button. The team reviews deployment readiness, executes the release according to the approved plan, validates rollback capability, and communicates the deployment schedule to all stakeholders. Think of launching a rocket. Months of preparation lead to one critical moment, and every checklist must be completed before liftoff. The objective is simple: deploy safely with minimal business disruption. Release governance ensures that go-live happens in a controlled and predictable way. PMO coordinates the go-live checklist, collects approvals, and confirms 4 readiness areas: deployment readiness, rollback readiness, production monitoring, and stakeholder communication. Imagine replacing the engine of an airplane while passengers are waiting. You would never proceed without knowing exactly how to recover if something goes wrong. That's why governance always asks 2 questions. Are we ready to deploy? Are we ready to recover if deployment fails? Both answers must be yes. The project now reaches its final delivery gate before production. Business users have approved UAT. Critical defects have been eliminated. The rollback plan has been tested. Deployment is approved. Monitoring tools are ready, and stakeholders have been informed. One governance principle stands above all: no go live without a verified rollback plan. Even the best software can experience unexpected production issues. A tested rollback plan protects both customers and the business, while giving the deployment team confidence to move forward. The customer portal is now live, but the project isn't over yet. The first days after release are called hypercare, a period of intensive monitoring and rapid support. The team watches production closely, tracks incidents, resolves issues quickly, and confirms the system is stable. Think of buying a new car. Even after leaving the dealership, you pay close attention during the first few days to ensure everything works as expected. Hypercare provides that same confidence before the system transitions into normal operations. After several weeks, the customer portal is running smoothly with no major issues. Now it's time to formally close the project. The team completes knowledge transfer, prepares the closure report, documents lessons learned, and archives all project information for future reference. Many people think a project ends after go live. In reality, a project isn't finished until responsibilities are transferred, documentation is complete, and the organization captures what it has learned. Good projects deliver software. Excellent projects also preserve knowledge. Closure governance ensures that nothing is left unfinished. PMO verifies that every deliverable has been accepted, documentation is complete, ownership has been transferred to the support team, and all governance evidence is archived for future audits. Imagine checking out of a hotel. You don't simply walk away. You return the key, settle the bill, and confirm everything is complete. The same discipline applies to projects. Formal closure protects both the delivery team and the organization long after development has ended. Throughout our customer portal project, governance has produced many important artifacts. The project charter established the foundation. The project plan guided execution. The RAID log captured risks and issues. Dashboards provided visibility. Meeting minutes documented decisions. Finally, sign-off documents and the closure report provided official evidence that the project had been successfully completed. These aren't documents created for compliance alone. Together, they create the project's memory, allowing decisions to be traced, lessons to be reused, and audits to be completed with confidence. Governance is not a one-time activity. It happens continuously through regular meetings and reviews. Daily coordination removes operational blockers. Weekly governance reviews progress and RAID items. Monthly portfolio meetings evaluate overall delivery health. Quarterly reviews focus on strategic improvements and organizational learning. Returning to our customer portal project, imagine if the team waited until the end of the month to discuss a critical blocker discovered on Monday. Regular governance cadence prevents small issues from becoming major project risks. Every project encounters challenges. What matters is how quickly they are escalated. Suppose an external payment provider suddenly delays API delivery. The development team tries to resolve it first. If the issue remains, it moves to the project manager and PMO. If broader business decisions are needed, it escalates to the head of PMO or steering committee. Notice that escalation isn't about assigning blame. It's about involving the right decision-makers at the right time. Remember the governance principle. Escalate early, not late. Let's end the project with an important reflection. Imagine if our team had skipped UAT, ignored hidden risks, failed to update Jira, or delayed escalation until the week before go-live. The customer portal would likely have missed deadlines, exceeded budget, and lost stakeholder confidence. These are governance anti-patterns, behaviors that gradually weaken delivery without teams realizing it. Successful PMOs don't simply react to these problems. They recognize warning signs early, strengthen governance discipline, and prevent failures before they happen. That's what transforms project management into delivery excellence. Now it's your turn to become the PMO. Imagine your team has just received the customer portal project. Starting from demand intake, work together to map the complete project lifecycle. For each phase, identify the required deliverables, key milestones, governance gates, and the evidence needed before moving forward. There isn't only one correct answer. The objective is to understand how each phase connects to the next and how governance creates a predictable delivery process. By the end of this exercise, you'll have built your own end-to-end governance map, just as an experienced PMO would in a real project. Let's make the scenario more challenging. Assume the customer portal is only 1 week away from go-live. However, UAT is still unstable, business sign-off is missing, several critical defects remain open, and nobody has prepared a rollback plan. Your task is not to fix the technical problems. Instead, think like a PMO. Identify which governance activities were skipped, determine the missing quality gates, and recommend governance improvements that would have prevented this situation. Remember, good governance prevents problems long before they become emergencies. Great governance depends on consistency. Working in groups, choose one important project phase, initiation, planning, release, or closure, and create a practical governance checklist. Ask yourself, what should be verified? Who owns each item? What evidence is required? When should it be completed? A good checklist doesn't create bureaucracy. It helps teams avoid mistakes, improves collaboration, and ensures critical activities are never forgotten. This is exactly how many PMOs build reusable governance standards across multiple projects. Let's summarize the most important lessons from this module. First, every successful project follows a structured lifecycle, from demand intake to continuous improvement. Second, governance isn't a single meeting or document. It is a continuous process that provides visibility, accountability, quality control, and disciplined decision-making throughout delivery. Third, PMO and project coordinators are governance enablers. They coordinate phase transitions, monitor compliance, support timely escalation, and help delivery teams remain predictable and scalable. Ultimately, governance doesn't slow projects down, it helps them succeed. We've now completed the Project Lifecycle and Governance Flow module. Before moving on, take a moment to reflect on your own projects. Where are the biggest governance challenges today? Are quality gates consistently followed? Are project risks escalated early enough? Which phase causes your team the most difficulty? These are exactly the kinds of questions PMs and PMOs should continuously ask to improve delivery performance. If you have any questions about the lifecycle, governance practices, or real project scenarios, now is the perfect time to discuss them. Every project is different, but strong governance principles remain the same. Thank you for joining this learning journey. Throughout this module, we've followed a project from the initial business request all the way to project closure, discovering how governance supports every phase and enables predictable, scalable delivery. As you return to your own projects, remember one key message: project management delivers outcomes. Governance ensures those outcomes are achieved consistently. We hope the concepts, examples, and practical governance techniques from this course will help you become a more confident project manager, project coordinator, or PMO professional. Thank you for watching, and we look forward to seeing you in the next module.